Recording
giving
in
him
progress.
33%. Brian Odega received 7 out of 18, giving him 39%. And Daniel Sandoval received 5 out of 18, giving her 28%. So this race goes no consensus, no recommendation. I want to thank all the candidates for participating, and good luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you. See you at the runoff.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Moving on, we have our Congressional District 42 race. We have Robert Garcia. Is Robert Garcia here? Is a surrogate for Robert Garcia here? Okay. Nicole Lopez. Is Nicole Lopez here? Is a surrogate for Nicole Lopez here? Okay. Peter Mathews. I see you, Peter.
I'm here.
Okay. William Somerville. Is William Somerville here? Is a surrogate for William.
Me here.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay. So we have candidates Peter Mathews and William Somerville present. Again, the rules are 2 minutes opening. We'll take questions from the members, maybe 3 or 4 for the sake of time, 1 minute answers, and then a 1 minute closing before going to a vote. If there is a runoff, I will explain the runoff rules again. Peter Mathews, when you're ready, you have 2 minutes for your opening.
Hello, sisters and brothers in the Progressive Democratic Club. I've known you for many years, been a member for many years. It's great to be here with you again. I'm Peter Mathews. I teach political science at Cypress College. I've lived in Long Beach for 30 years and been very active in the community. But how did I get first started into politics? When I was a little boy in India, my parents brought me from India when I was 10 years old to the United States. When I was about 9 years old, I used to walk home every day from school. When I got to the gate of our house, a beautiful big gate with a lot of wall around it, a lot of yard, I would see several people there holding their hands out for food. I would open the gate, I would say hello to them, and I'd open the gate and go into my mom's kitchen and come back through picking up some food for my mom. She had food ready for the people there with some money. I took it back to them, and I gave them food and money. When I looked in their eyes, I looked at people that looked so much like me, 2 little kids and their parents, but with their skin and bones. And I said, how could this gate divide us like this? What is it all about? The gates that divide us in life between rich and poor. That family who loved their kids just as much as mine did, they couldn't give them an opportunity because the structure of society wasn't equal or equitable. I want to bring the gates down in America, the gates between rich and poor, the gates between men and women. There's so many gates here and walls here blocking us from advancing. So I want to bring healthcare for all, Medicare for all. I want to have a Green New Deal that will pay high-paying jobs, that will make sure we stop climate change in its tracks. We have to do that. And also tuition-free college, tuition-free university, and canceling student debt. A lot of those things would help to bring equity and fairness. American women are only making 83 cents for every dollar American men make. We got to boost up the women's wages, not bring down the men's wages. We can do it with new technologies here in this country to be able to build new futuristic technology, like Green New Deal technologies, such as solar panels and windmills and those kinds of things that could really get us off fossil fuels within 10 years, folks. We don't have 20 years to do it. We only got the most to bring that down to keep us at 1.1 degrees Celsius where we're at right now. And you can see the storms going on right now, the tornadoes, the forest fires in California. We can't do this. I know the Bible says where there's no vision, the people perish. And that's what can happen to us very soon in this country and the world. We're Americans. We love our country. It's the best country in the world to give opportunity, but we got to make sure the opportunity stays with our children and grows for our kids. I have a 10-year-old daughter. What will her future be if we don't take care of these problems right now? Schools. The low-income schools that have a fraction of the income. For example, Linwood, next door, part of my district, near my district, Linwood gets $7,500 per student, whereas a school in Northern California gets $24,000 per student. They got the modern textbooks.
Thank you.
They got all the organic food. We don't have it here. Equity and fairness is what America should be all about. That's why I'm running for Congress.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll go to William Somerville. You have 2 minutes for your opening statement.
Good afternoon, soon to be evening, Progressive Democratic Club. My name is Reverend William Moses Somerville. I come running for Congress in California's 42nd Congressional District. I come in the tradition of Reverend Adam Clayton Powell, Reverend DeForest Buster Soares, Reverend William H. Gray. I come in the tradition of my fraternity brother, here to be the new wave of good trouble, John Lewis. My top 5 issues are Medicare for all, climate justice, comprehensive reparations, voter rights protections, and getting money out of politics. All of the top 4 issues that I highlighted are all noble legislation, but none of that will get passed and passed effectively if we keep money in politics. I take no corporate PAC, no business PAC contributions. And we've estimated to run already 40,000 in just individual contributions. I serve as a pastor, a hospital hospice chaplain, veteran, academic. Also, I serve in many capacities, most specifically and importantly as a husband and father. My political experience comes from serving as a 2016 and 2020 DNC delegate, and also served as an assembly district delegate for California between 2017 to 2019. Basically, I learned about the disenfranchisement that happens in our party that we're seeking to correct and reform and revolutionize. And so I'm here for the political revolution all the same. I'm all about coalitioning, building together, and to further assert how serious I am about this coalitioning, and most specifically about the issues. My campaign today, you all will be the first to know it. We're launching a single payer health fair initiative, which means we're with Hindus for America. I've been fortunate enough to have persons who want to contribute $25 to get at least $600 worth of blood work and 2 physician consults to be seen. That's how serious am I about this thing, because I want to bring tangibles to our situation. The time is now. We're here to disrupt the status quo and serve the people. My name is Reverend William Moses Somerville. I'm running for California 42nd Congressional District.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to questions from the members. If you have a question, please raise your virtual hand so you can be recognized. I see 2 questions from Barbara and Jan. Maybe we'll have a 3rd question by the time we get to Jan. Barbara Cahoon, your question.
All right, to the candidates, can you tell me something that you know about the other candidate? Good.
Okay, thank you. Well, since Peter Mathews started with his opening statement, we'll go to William Somerville. You have 1 minute to answer.
Yes, I came to learn about Peter Mathews when he ran for Congress in times past. I do like his insight on economics and how it makes sense within our society. So so I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you for your question, Barbara.
Okay, thank you. Peter Mathews, you have 1 minute to answer.
Really appreciate and admire the Reverend for being a chaplain in the armed services. Our soldiers need solace many times, and he's offering that to them through a spiritual method and means, which I think is very important, and I really admire what he's doing there.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to Jan and then Fatima, and then we'll, for the sake of time, we'll close the questions there. So Jan, your question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is about immigration, and what would you try to change to improve our situation with immigration? That's the question.
Okay, Peter, you have 1 minute.
First of all, the cause of undocumented immigration, and that has to do with the outsourcing of our jobs to low-wage countries, and NAFTA, with Bill Clinton pushed through, with low wages, and American corporations went in and paid very little, dirt poor wages in Mexico, for example. And also we had our farmers dumping corn there and driving farmers out of work over there. That's why people come here in desperation for their children. And we got to fix that first. But meanwhile, we need to have an immediate pathway to citizenship for all people who are immigrants in America today, undocumented and documented, because this is a country that needs immigrants. It's a nation of immigrants that made this country great. My parents were immigrants. I'm an immigrant. I was born in India, and I say we had an American dream here when I got here and worked hard. My brothers and sisters had opportunity. No tuition. Tuitions were very, very low in Texas. There was zero tuition in California. So we chose students to get our bachelor's degree and go on and get the American dream fully realized. But the immigrants of America are the ones who built this country, and they're still doing it. The DREAM Act has to be passed immediately, and we need a pathway to citizenship. That's what I would do. I'd introduce legislation right away to get that done and stop just talking about it, because they do some of the hardest work, many of the immigrants coming today, and do the hardest work in this country that benefits all of us. And we've got to be grateful for that and actually award them for being Americans. And I would certainly support that immigration reform in a comprehensive way, an immediate way, not waiting around.
And move on to William Somerville. You have 1 minute to answer.
Well, as a descendant of U.S. chattel slavery, I wish immigration was an issue then versus when it is now. And I would further even suggest, because this country is built by chattel slaves and taken from indigenous persons or First Nations, we're not really a nation of immigrants. We clearly have a nation of immigrants, but I would suggest that our nation of immigrant crisis comes from our policies as the U.S. government that destabilizes other countries. When you exploit and take away natural resources and exploit labor, people are going to be bound to come to get their stuff back. And that's why we have the immigration crisis here in America. And hence, I would push for a comprehensive immigration reform as it relates to international policies, as well as local and domestic policies. Thank you.
Thank you. And Fatima, you have a question?
Yeah. So my question is, obviously, like, you're both, this is a progressive Democratic club. I could see that you're both have great progressive values. So my question is, not to necessarily, like, don't bash the other candidate, but just tell me why, I guess, we should trust you to be the biggest champion for the issues that progressives care about, like single-payer healthcare, like divesting away from police funds, like immigration, and transitioning to new energy. So why do you think that you would be the strongest advocate in this entire race, out of all the progressives here?
Okay, thank you. William Somerville, you have 1 minute.
Well, it goes back to coalitioning. I just know the coalitioning that I work with and the persons that are already excited in the movement that we have behind this campaign. Once again, of the relationships established when I was a DNC delegate back in 2016. Bernie Sanders told us to run for office. Here I am on a 6-year momentum of now finally getting to this thing. As I often share with folks, as it relates to the difference of me, you send me the straight people you working with, I'll send you the LGBTQ folks I'm working with. You send me the men that you're working with, I'll send you the women I'm working with. You send me the religious folk you're working with, I'll send you the non-religious folk I'm working with. You send me the persons who have abilities, I'll send you the persons that have disabilities that's working with me. So I believe I'm the most progressive champion, and the fact that California has not seen a Black man who loves Black people running for public office for over 20 years now. And so that's where I am. Thank you.
And Peter Mathews, you have 1 minute.
Yeah, when I moved to Long Beach 30 years ago, I actually helped form the Homeless Organizing Committee, and we lobbied for getting transitional housing for the homeless from the city council, partially successful. I also started Rescue Education California, which fought for tuition-free college university, and also to keep tuitions down. When Governor Wilson wanted to go from $10 a unit to $30 a unit, we kept them down to $13 by getting students organized, going to Sacramento and empowering them, having protests and getting on the media. So I've done things like that. I've also run for office, many times, and I have actually refused corporate money from the beginning. That's one reason I lost a primary by 2% when the corporate Democrat outspent me 10-1. Another time I won the primary and lost the general election by 5%. Or 6% when the incumbent beat me by 7-1. I've never, ever given in to demands for Peter, take the corporate money, get elected and do something. I've never done that because I know when I get to Congress, I don't want to have my hands tied. Who's your daddy won't be a question that's asked for me. And I've done that. You've seen me consistently do it. And the fact that I've lost a few times only makes me stronger. I've got a proven record of not giving up. This is the first time we got an open seat that we're running for. I've always run against incumbents, and the incumbents win 95% of the time. This time we got an open seat. And God bless you, Reverend Somerville. I hope you do well, but I'm glad to work with you, and if you win. But I win if you work with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the closing statements. Since William Somerville went last on the opening statements, he'll go first. You have 1 minute.
It is evident we're in a crisis. We hear that every election season. However, that clearly that message is becoming to be the same thing. In my work, most specifically as a hospice chaplain, this is really what drives me, because if we can have Medicare for the dying, we should have Medicare for all the living. I know that I'll be successful when I'm hearing constituents and U.S. citizens saying, I can afford the vacation that I go on. I got some relief. I don't have to worry about my medical care. I can move and spend time with my family and my wife because I don't have to work all the time. And so our goal here, like I said, disrupt the status quo, serve the people. That's our campaign motto, message, and mantra. And I welcome you all with me. And thank you for my time.
Okay, thank you. And then Peter Mathews, your 1 minute for closing.
Thank you for the time to be with you folks. I've known you for a long time, and I hope that this time you'll give me a chance to win this election, the primary, so we can go on the general election and beat the corporate candidate. It looks like 2 corporate Democrats are vying for the top 2 seats. I hope to be one of those who are not corporate, so we can actually say this is an America for the 99%, not the 1%, but the 99%. We've got to really go back to grassroots. That's all I have is grassroots supporters. I don't take corporate money. I never have. I got a track record of 20 years of doing that, running for office and running things that way. That's the way to do it. A proven record. I've been in my district for 30 years. And I would wish that people who live in a certain place would run in their own district. That would be really helpful because you know the district well. And it's better to stay where you are and then run against a corporate candidate is what I think most people should do. And I'm doing that right now. So I would love to continue with this struggle. And it's all about truth and justice. And we don't want to have transparency and let people know exactly what we're all up to. And we're doing it, fighting the hard fight here. And hopefully we'll be successful with your help. And I'll be with you guys for a long, long time, God willing. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Great, thank you. And with that, that closes our endorsement program for Congressional District 42. I'm going to move all the non-voting members into a breakout room.
Southeast South more than Southeast, but East South Long Beach, Catalina Island, San Clemente Island, Downey, Bell Gardens, Bellflower.
It's all LA County?
Southeast LA, neighboring city counties, in those, Huntington Park, in that area. So yeah.
There's some jurisdictions outside of LA County that you will be representing too.
Right, Long Beach and mostly Southeast Los Angeles County, neighboring city areas.
No, I mean outside of LA County. What areas are you going to be representing outside of LA County?
Oh, none. Just a sliver.
Okay.
Just a sliver of Orange County and Hawaiian Gardens, maybe, but very, very, very small sliver.
I'm gonna contact you. I'm gonna give you some help, some strategic help.
Thanks a million. Yeah, and clearly we're still taking contributions because, like I said, we don't have the big corporate money like some of our opponents, but we have a volunteer roster of 150 folk right now. So it's the movement's there.
I'm going to ask
recording in progress.
Our recording secretary to please do the minutes so we could have some business while I create the ballot.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Everyone was emailed the minutes a few days ago. Whoops. Are there any comments or suggestions or corrections to the minutes?
Barbara Calhoun with her hand raised.
Barbara, you have your hand raised?
Yes, I do. Under new business, you have down here the last paragraph. It doesn't show that myself or David Knopflin made a motion and a vote. It just shows that it says to send the Constitution bylaws back to the committee for review by Barbara Calhoun and David Knopflin, but a vote was taken, wasn't it? I made a motion, he seconded, and it was all approved. It don't say that.
I believe in the last sentence it does. MSP stands for motion seconded and.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jan. Oh my goodness. Thank you. And then wait a minute. There was, where it says announcements, where I reported that the recent California State Party Convention, that the party has taken a position of support of charter schools. I said it was the platform committee, even though it went before the Democratic Party and they approved it. You forgot to put, because it was the Black Caucus that brought it. The Black Caucus is the one that brought it forth to the platform committee.
So the party is not supporting charter schools?
The platform, they sent it and it was voted on by the members.
But it's an official position of the state party though, right?
Yes, yes.
So it was recommended by the
Black Caucus
Black Caucus.
to the platform committee. The platform committee, just like Joseph said, brought it to the whole body. And we lost by.
Okay, so with that correction, is there any other corrections?
So I've got to be clear on this. The party voted it down.
No, the party, I'm sorry, Jan, the party did vote it up. The delegates voted it up. We lost by so many votes. We was trying to let it fail. So the delegates did pass it. So it's going to be part of the platform committee about charter schools. So you're right. I just wanted to say it was the platform committee that brought it.
Seeing, did they ever give that? When was the minutes given to the members of the bylaws committee? When was that done? If it was done on Thursday, then these bylaws were not
Richard,
done with the
Richard, you're out of
input
order.
of
We're
the
talking about
membership. Do you want to go there or no?
No, not right now, Richard. We're just talking about the
Minutes.
minutes.
Talking about the minutes. Okay. Okay, Jan, you're correct. Just add the platform committee.
Okay, is there a motion
You want a motion to approve the minutes?
as amended?
I'll make that motion, Don Deere.
All right, well, let's go with that then. Again, I don't think they've got to, even Jim is not hanging around. He's gone right now.
Richard, you're out
I
of
don't know
order.
if you see
Richard,
that.
you are out of order. There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Now, if he tries to say it's just a majority vote, it's not. It's according to the
Richard, you are
current
out of order. I'm going to
bylaws,
mute you.
which have been approved.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor and a second to approve the minutes as amended.
I have a question before.
Yes, Barbara.
Discussion.
Yes.
When these minutes are approved, are the bylaws being approved?
No,
Okay,
that's a separate agenda item.
Thank you. That's all I need to know. So
There's, for a bylaws revision, we require a first reading and a second reading. So that's a separate part. I'm just trying to
move the minutes. I got you.
we need to
Call for the question, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Call for the question,
thank
please,
you.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. There is a motion or a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes as amended, please indicate by saying aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Abstain, nays? Abstain? Thank you. Okay, we're moving on. We're going to relaunch the poll.
In LA County?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
What Black groups are you working with?
Say it one more time, I'm sorry.
Black groups, what Black groups?
Oh, well, I'm a part of the Divine Nine. That's one.
Never heard of them. Who are they?
No, it's the NHPC, NPHC, National Panhellenic Council, Black Greek letter organizations, historically Black Greek letter organizations.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who my ties are with, real strong there. And then obviously being a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, when I earlier mentioned.
Black Lives Matter?
Say it again?
Black Lives Matter?
I support their efforts. I'm not a member or a chapter member per se, but support the efforts and what have you. Yeah, and then I'm also, I got an A+ rating by the National Assembly of American Slavery Descendants for in my support for comprehensive reparations and a Black agenda, most specifically. So yeah, so that's where we are.
I want to help you get in with some of the mainstream Black organizations in LA County.
Okay.
Progressive, Black Lives Matter, Akili, Karanga. They're very political.
Yeah, Karanga. Yeah, yeah, I know he's at Cal State Long Beach. So yeah.
You know him?
I don't know him personally, but I know of his work. Obviously, Kwanzaa, right?
Get to him because he has a very strong advocacy organization
Well, let me ask you this: do you have the relationship with him? Because I don't have the relationship.
Yeah, I can get you.
Okay, so I sent you my email.
Yeah,
Send me your information. Let's coordinate that and stuff on my schedule.
Yeah.
And let's really, what I need now, like I said, is just volunteers and fundraisers done now. So, and my scheduler, we'll get everything squared away. So.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I'll move on to just a moment while I pull up the agenda. Treasurer's report, Tim.
Okay, the balance at our March meeting was $2,880.26. Since then, we've had $140.13 in deposits and $200 in deductions, giving us a current balance of $2,820.39. Anyone have any questions?
Okay, seeing none, we'll just receive and file your report. Thank you, Tim. Second VP, Jim Brandt. Jim, do you have anything to report on the website?
No, we've been receiving the dues just fine if people want to use credit cards on the website, but that's been processing okay.
Okay, great. And then we have our third VP, Jim Deere. I know was on earlier. I don't know if he will log back in, but if he does, we'll get his VP report. I believe we have 67 members in good standing currently. Moving on, corresponding secretary, Barbara Blundell, do you have anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Okay, great. In the interest of time, unless there's reports, urgent, time-sensitive reports from either CARA, MLK Dem Club, or Indivisible, we'll just move on to the new business. Are there any reports that need to be said right now at this meeting from any of our organizations? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to new business, revised bylaws, second reading. And we have a second reading of the bylaws. The first reading was done at the last general meeting. The bylaws committee met, and based on the input they received at that meeting, they met and made some revisions to the bylaws.